Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined today by my two slightly inept co-hosts. To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
You understand, when you're playing the drums on the helmet, that's all you can hear in the microphone.
That's not true.
Hey, he's just having fun.
And to my left, just polishing his skin flute, it is Bruce, the tugboat Venditti.
It does make a good sound.
It's Propecia Venditti.
Okay.
Can we put you on a peg and spin you around and see where I land?
Anyways, okay.
Spinning on a peg. That's where you need to be.
No, that you're the one on the peg, if you paid attention.
Well, I don't know. I don't spin on pegs. Maybe you do. It's,
Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune.
Anyways, we need to start out the show by talking about the topic that is on everyone's mind, and that is Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, who sustained a hit on Sunday. After sustaining that hit on Sunday, he was very wobbly to get up and then collapsed on the field. Now, the Dolphins took him into the back, went into the locker room, went through concussion protocol, and he returned to that game. They said that he was fine, and upon reevaluating on Monday, they said he was good to go for the Thursday night game. Everyone who was watching that game on Sunday pretty much saw the same thing, and what the world saw was something that did not look like a back injury. It looked like somebody who got their bell rang, and he tried to get up too fast and then immediately went back down for a moment.
I mean, everybody was talking about his hand. Like, they thought it was his hand at first because
I'm talking about Sunday.
Oh, you're talking about Sunday?
Yep.
Oh.
So,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You don't pay attention to fucking anything.
Shut up,
dude.
Cartman.
So, upon returning to the game Sunday, they said everything was fine. Nobody really thought much of it. But then, 4-day turnaround, we saw Tua Tagovailoa come out last night and look a little bit shaky, I would say, to start the game. He didn't look as crisp as he had the rest of the year. I will say that much.
No, I thought he looked pretty decent.
He put up 2
early
points.
on.
Yes, he looked
decent.
pretty decent, but
Yeah.
Tua hasn't looked pretty decent all year. He's looked top 5 all year.
Yeah, but he did not look injured to me at all.
Well,
At all.
he got whipped around like a rag doll on one play, and
He did.
I'll say this much. I know you are very much for keeping that much aggression in the game, but he got picked up and whipped around like a rag doll.
No, I don't. No.
Hold on. Before we put blame on Miami and the doctors and bullshit, I want to know, did he want to play the game?
What does that got to do with
What
anything?
does that have to do with anything?
Because if he wanted to go out there, it's his fucking decision.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not. It is in no way, shape, or form the player's decision if they are going to play injured. It is not. The players don't pay themselves.
Well,
the players are not responsible.
But if
the
he
players
says,
are not,
I cannot go out there and perform. If I'm going to get hit, then obviously they're going to say, okay, then you need time.
Correct.
To sit. Yes. But if he was fully on board with everything and felt okay with everything, then why is everyone blaming the fucking staff?
because it's not his decision to make, right? If you're in the hospital
The
and
NFL, this is called covering your ass. The NFL has that implemented there for a reason. So guys that do lie to go play in the games, it's been going on forever.
What, so they can't come back and sue him?
Well,
What?
absolutely, it's about money.
Bullshit.
doesn't
It is.
matter. Doesn't matter if Tua said, I feel better than I have in my entire fucking life.
He obviously had some issues that he didn't tell the team about.
Okay?
Obviously.
It doesn't matter. Again,
I get
it
you're
doesn't
saying
matter
it doesn't
what
matter,
he said.
but how are you going to
I
evaluate
think it's
it?
bullshit.
If
I
he's
think it
saying
does
I'm
matter.
good and he passed protocol, then why is this even an issue?
Why is what an issue?
Why is it an issue? Listen, he got hit. It wasn't a violent pickup slam hit. The guy grabbed him, twisted him, threw him to the ground.
Yeah, now there's going to be a
He
fucking
fell on
rule
his
about
head.
twisting
He fell
guys
on
around.
his head. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Some people can take a punch and some can't.
That's
Obviously,
true.
he can't take a punch.
That's
So
true.
you think that him going out of that game yesterday had nothing to do with the hit he took on Sunday?
Well, I mean, you could probably say that, but not
okay.
I mean, he
because he
midway
passed
through the fourth quarter,
protocol.
he was, he did leave the hospital and he was on his.
But
way
he
home.
came back into that game last week and continued to play.
Somebody
So,
in Miami's locker room missed something, is
Well,
what I'm saying.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
It's pretty easy.
I think it's,
honestly,
I'm going to be honest with you, it's on the player.
I mean,
I think it's on the player.
I don't know their concussion protocol, but I mean, shit. In high school, it was so easy to, even if you had a concussion, to pass a fucking concussion test. It was actually pretty.
You're a walking concussion. So
You
I
go
can
to the
understand
hospital.
that.
You, as a layman, go to the hospital with a concussion, and you look at the doctor and be like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving." What are they going to do?
Let you leave.
No, they're not.
No.
Yeah, they will.
No, they
They're
do
gonna
not.
keep you.
No, they do not.
Listen, you
they're
wanna
no
leave,
longer.
you
You're
can
no
leave.
longer covered under your insurance. You're paying it out of pocket, and they're trying to strap you to the table before you leave.
I've never had that problem.
That is 1,000% on the Dolphins' medical staff, coaches, everything. At the end of the day, the players should not have any input into whether or not, if the team says you are injured, it doesn't matter if they say they've never been better in their entire life. The team is the one who makes a
I think the player has a lot of responsibility into that also.
I think
the player is absolutely responsible.
Absolutely.
For that.
Why?
If he had his bell
Absolutely.
rung, he should have told somebody.
It was-
Obviously, my back just locked up on me. I think he's at fault too.
It doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah, it does. I believe it does.
No,
I
absolutely
believe it
not.
does.
Okay, I do understand why. Okay, now I do understand why people are going after the medical staff and everything, but
No,
you can't put the entire blame on.
No,
them.
I don't.
Is what he's trying to say.
The Miami Dolphins, the NFL, pay doctors millions of dollars a year to represent these teams and represent these players. Also, the player is essentially property of the team. They make multi-million-dollar investments in these players to play. So again, it does not matter what that player says. He should not make the decision on whether or not he is playing. Because now we have a situation where if a guy probably would have sat out a week or two, the Dolphins season wouldn't be laying in the hands of Teddy Ballgame.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
At
dude.
the end of the day, that's the long and the short of it. Somebody in Miami's medical staff missed the call, and somebody in the coaching staff allowed him to play and allowed him to come back into the game and essentially allowed the opportunity for this to happen. That's it in a nutshell. If you look statistically at how he played in the first half of last night's game compared to the rest of the year,
I don't think that had
We saw-
anything to do with it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever.
He did get maybe a tad, but he did. That was
I don't believe that.
so
ball swinging
Listen,
season. What was going on right there?
This
dude.
whole
He
thing
fucking
didn't.
ragdolled
He
the
got
shit out of
sacked
him.
before that, got back up, and was fine, dude. So I'm not buying all that.
So Tua Tagovailoa, who's averaging 5 touchdown passes a game and over 300 yards passing, goes in and in a half throws 1 interception, also averaging 72% passing, goes into a game against Cincinnati and averages 57% passing in the first half for 110 yards and a pick,
Okay.
and doesn't run the ball once.
Okay.
So you thought
I don't
you
think running
that's a
the ball
healthy
is his
performance?
forte anyway, dude.
Yes, but he's
He's
averaging
a fucking tinker toy.
He's averaging 4 runs per game.
Okay.
Okay,
So he didn't run the first half. So what?
and his passing percentage was down 20%. His
don't-
completion percentage.
Maybe Miami's scheme was just better, or Cincinnati's scheme defensively was better.
Well, see, that's good in theory, but
Yeah,
I
it is.
take statistics and break them down.
Whatever.
And if you're passing,
Statistics,
if you're completing 72% of your passes on the year, you get your bell rung, come into the next game 4 days later, and throw 57% completions. That's an issue.
I don't know.
That's an issue.
I've seen. What are you gonna say? That's Tom Brady's problem.
What's Tom Brady's problem?
I don't know. Last week his passing percentage was garbage. Let's look at it this week.
Well, he didn't have Jalen Waddle and
I
Tyreek
mean-
Hill. He was playing with H.R. Puff and stuff and Barney the Big Purple Dinosaur.
So I just don't think the numbers is bullshit. The numbers is bullshit. He was able to play. He played. He was fine till this last hit. The first sack that sacked him, he got up and he was fine.
That hit was brutal. That could have just caused everything.
I mean, that could have caused it right
Yeah.
there. They bounced his fucking head off the ground. I think that's
A lot
that's
worse
the
than the
thing.
week before.
Now listen, I've seen guys get knocked out. This is
He was
common.
out cold.
It's common, dude.
Oh, he
It's
stiffed up.
common.
He was
It
throwing. He was
happens.
throwing up gang signs when he was
Listen
out.
to me. What do
It
you mean
happens.
it's common?
It's common
You
to people
see
that get
2 or
knocked out.
3 hits like
Obviously,
that a
you
year.
guys don't know what you're talking about. It's common to people do that when they get knocked out.
Correct,
Watch
but you
a
don't
boxing
see-
match.
Great, we're not
Watch
watching
fucking
a boxing match.
It's the same sense.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But that doesn't happen in NFL games.
Yes, it
You
does.
see it 2 or 3 times a year.
It happens a little more than you think. It don't happen anymore because you're not allowed to touch anybody.
Okay,
that's why
but
everybody's
that's
a
the
fucking
point.
rag
See,
doll.
I don't know, but can you say that though? Because he got tossed like a fucking rag
got
doll.
fucking-
and there was
Everybody's
no
a fucking rag
there
dog.
was no flag.
Listen, every guy that takes a big hit now goes out. They're out. They're done. They're out and done. Why? Why?
No, that's so not true.
It is true.
No, it's not.
Most of these
There's been
guys,
2
when they
times.
get
If you want
hit,
to talk about
they're
true
out.
things, it's turf is fucking
So
up
what-
these guys' knees.
What
Oh, God.
what you're going to sit here and say is there's been 2 big hits all year? The
I-
one
I'm
against
so
That's what I'm
right.
saying,
the
man.
one against but
What
you're
I'm
saying
trying to
every
tell-
time they take a big hit they get knocked out.
Because these guys are not used to that. They're not used to that. They're not taught anything anymore.
another one.
It's all about precision and it's all about speed. The toughness of the game is gone.
This was a guy who got picked up and dropped on his head.
He didn't get picked up and dropped on his head. He did not get picked up and
So
dropped
then
on
what
his head.
happened? Because I
The
must
guy
have
got
not seen the
swung
same thing.
around. He was tackling him. He swung him around and threw him down as they fell. They both fell together. It's not like he picked him up in the air and threw him on his head.
Yeah,
That's not true.
Okay,
That
either
is
way,
not true.
Either way, he slams
No,
his
he
head
landed on
and
his
goes
back.
Skeletor mode.
He landed on his back.
He
and
landed on
head
his back,
popped
100%.
off the
my
ground.
God.
He landed on his back.
Well,
He did not pick him up.
What
and
happens is
slam
when you
him.
land on your back, your neck.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
okay, whatever
Do
you
that
guys
again?
say. I guess
that
we
one
saw
more
a
time?
different game.
How about
then.
you do it?
You do it one more
No,
time.
I want to see you do it.
How
Can
about
you
if
do
I
it?
just
I'll
come over
do-
there and
no,
pick
I'll
you up
do
and
it.
slam you on the fucking
I'll
ground?
do it if you do it.
Yeah.
I guess we all watched a different game last night. But anyways,
I guess so.
But anyways,
I was watching it.
There's your version
in
and then there's
720
the real
HP.
version.
the version
my
is
PC.
he was off
I was
all
playing
4.
COD.
The defender had him off of all 4s. He was in the air.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
He swung him around, dude. He did not pick him up and body
Like,
slam
can
him.
we
He
implement
swung
this
him
video
around
in here
and
so
he
you
went
can
down.
see it?
All 4 extremities were off the ground, correct?
Anyway, you know what? He was grabbed. He was trying to run to get away from him, and he swung him around. And when he did, as doing
No,
so,
okay.
They both
he
went to
landed
the
hard.
ground.
So I'll change
swung him
my
over.
verbiage.
His
Body.
momentum was more than the force. of
I'll
it.
change my
It was the
verbiage
momentum
from
of it.
he was picked up and thrown to he was picked up and swung around.
Correct.
There we go. So he was swung around, bounced his
Dude,
elbow,
there was way
and then landed
worse.
on his
There's
head.
way worse that's happened this season.
Exactly. That's you just made my point for me. There's way worse.
I'm saying, in fact, of like throwing a dude over your body. These two were both going
Absolutely.
to the ground.
Correct. You're right. You're right. The hit was not that egregious. So for him,
It was pretty egregious.
but you just said there's so much worse
I'm
that happened.
saying,
Just
like,
listen to
dudes
me.
coming off the
But he went
ground.
down
I'm
because-
saying they were both going down, and he turned and completed the tackle by putting
Correct.
him on the ground. That was all fair, all legal.
There
I
was
at
nothing,
no
nothing
point,
wrong.
at
flag
no
thrown.
point, at no
There
point
was
did I
no
say the
flag
hit was
thrown for
illegal.
roughing.
But you
At-
saying this is going to lead to
No,
the
it's-
league
it's
saying,
in-
"Oh, you can't toss dudes over your
No,
fucking
it's not.
body."
I am in no way, shape, or form saying you can't toss a dude. All I'm saying is the Miami Dolphins coaching staff and medical staff is at fault for that injury. Period. He shouldn't have checked back into the game Sunday because everybody with a fucking brain watched that game and knew he was concussed. Period. That's the point. It has nothing to do with the hit. It has nothing to do with the NFL making rules against them. It has to do with the NFL stepping in and doing something because the Miami Dolphins completely neglected to do anything about that hit.
Whatever.
Period.
I think the player's just as at fault as the staff is.
But the player doesn't get paid to make medical diagnosis, does
Doesn't
it?
matter.
Yes,
If he's
it
hurt,
does.
he should have told somebody. If he's hurt, he should have told somebody.
The player does not get paid
Listen,
to make a medical diagnosis.
When you fucking go down, when you get a concussion, when you're hit in the head like that, the player needs to step up and say, "Hey, look, I'm not right. I'm not right."
but
the
they're
player
not
needs to
going
say something.
They're not going to.
Of course, they're not going to because they want to play.
Correct.
Well, that's where I'm saying that it partially the fault is on the player also.
Because he could have easily just said,
listen,
I
NFL
can't play.
protocol, he goes through the protocol, he passes protocol.
if
that's
he
not
were-
on the NFL, dude.
If he were
That's not on the-
smart,
that's not on the NFL, dude.
I didn't say it was on the NFL. I said it's on the team.
It's
and
not on the team.
doctors.
It's not on their doctors. If he's saying, hey, I'm good to play, he's good to play.
Well,
That's on him.
and I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck it. Continue.
I guess any layman can just make the calls on
I agree with that.
people's
I'm not-
health.
I'm not
and all of
saying
the
that.
above. Well, that's
Listen,
yes, that
they're
is
going to
what you're saying.
evaluate you. It's no different than if you're sitting in front of a doctor. They're going to evaluate you. You need to tell them the fucking truth.
Well,
as they're
obviously
asking
the
you stuff.
evaluation didn't
Obviously.
work. Because you
Well, it
called
did
me,
work.
you called me Sunday and said
I remember
that
what I
wasn't a
was gonna
back
say.
injury, that was a concussion.
I thought it was a concussion, personally.
As did every single person watching the game.
No,
I thought it
some
was a
people thought it was
concussion.
his hand.
He got his bell
At
rung.
first.
Talking
Listen,
about
guys
Sunday
get their
still.
bell rung, and it doesn't mean that they got to sit out the
When the
next
fuck
game.
did we change?
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
When the fuck did we change this?
What?
We're talking about Sunday again?
I guess
Listen, when you get your bell rung, you get your bell rung. 9 out of 10 times, you'll come out of it quick. I don't agree with it. I just don't. Listen, he got popped to the turf. His head bounced off the fucking turf. That's why he got knocked the fuck out. I don't think last week has a real bearing in it.
well, you just
because guess
changed,
what?
you just changed it up on
I
me
did
again.
not change it up on you. All I said was he got his bell rung last week. He did get his bell rung last week.
So if you have
But
two
that doesn't mean he's a total concussed guy that needs to sit out for fucking
yes,
3 weeks.
I agree with
I didn't
doesn't
say
mean
I agree
3
with
weeks.
him.
He played 4 days later.
So what?
obviously, if you're a boxer, I'll put this in terms that you'll
Okay,
you'll
go
get.
ahead.
If you're a boxer and you get knocked the fuck out and then
Yeah.
go back out there 4 days later, you think you're going to be able to take the same punch that you took before?
I think so.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I got a pretty good chin. I think so. I got a real good
it.
chin.
Bounce off that beard of his.
See, that's the difference. The difference is this. You know what? I believe that the
Everybody's a
coaching
pussy
staff,
nowadays.
The
Go
coaching
ahead.
staff, the
no,
medical
that's
staff. at the
true.
Dolphins-
Everyone is a pussy nowadays.
Well, that too, but that's beside the point. The coaching staff has somewhat of. I don't think they should be totally held accountable for what if you're evaluating a player and the player's telling you that I'm good, this, that, and the other thing, and he passes the protocol, he should play.
He could have
Right? I'm
if he
not
had a
gonna-
problem wrong with. He's right. If he would have thought for a second,
that he wasn't good.
I'm not okay, he could have said something. Oh, this is 4
Absolutely.
days away. Maybe I should take a week off because we're 3-0.
Yeah.
Let me take a couple days off to get back to better health to carry this team to victory. But no, he decided to go out there because they told him it was okay.
My last thought on this is if I was an NFL owner who had billions of dollars invested in this and I was told that, oh, if he says he can play, I'd be pretty fucking pissed about the doctors and coaching staff and everybody else who I'm paying to make these calls, not the football player who's going to make the calls on if he is medically able to go.
Dude, I mean,
That's
he took
the end
a
of it.
fucking hard hit.
Peyton Manning
Off his
was
head.
playing on 1 foot, a half an arm, and couldn't even grip a fucking football anymore. And he played and won a Super Bowl.
Yep. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Exactly.
Do you think he would have passed medical protocol? today?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. That's all
Absolutely
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's on the
Matthew
player.
Stafford 1 year.
It's on the
Yeah.
player. If the
supposed
player's
to go
telling me,
down.
hey, I'm
He's
good
hurt.
to go, blah, blah, blah. How are you going to tell a Hall of Fame guy, oh, you...
Tua Tagovailoa is a 25-year-old
Hey,
dude,
it
not a
doesn't matter.
Hall of
It's
Fame
the same-
guy.
it's the same
No, it's
difference,
not.
dude.
It's not the same thing.
I don't know.
No, if anything, it's
I-
worse for him, not Tua, because he's older. He's more eligible to more injuries.
Thank you.
Younger guys come back
But
faster.
he's Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Right.
E-
And it was
exactly.
okay.
And I'm not the biggest fan of Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
but
Matt Stafford separated his shoulder in a game
Yeah.
against the Cleveland Browns.
came back
Should
in.
he have played?
Probably
Should
not.
Medical
No.
staff stepped in and said, hey, you can't play.
Absolutely.
What do you say? I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
Said, get the
And
fuck
went
off!
in there,
Get the
got
fuck
up,
off of me!
threw the football, took a big shot at the end, got hurt even worse, and continued to play. That's the game.
And then
It's
then
the
he came
game.
back the following week.
It's
and
the
continued to
fucking
play.
game, dude. It's the game. Stop.
Well, when everyone's
Stop
wearing,
with
when,
all
every-
the pussy there.
Ball.
when everyone's wearing a Guardian cap next season, you go ahead and tell me if you like the way the game's going. because
Whatever.
that's where you're headed. Because
know
guys are tough enough to play.
Whatever. These guys ain't tough enough to do
No,
shit.
the league just puts stupid rules in place. So that
No, I don't think so.
softer.
You know what? They're so worried about getting fucking sued. That's the reason why you got all this controversy.
Because everything's about
and this
money, man.
bullshit.
Everything's
Because it's
about
all
money.
about cash. It's all about who's going to make a buck. Give me a fucking break.
You know, you're so
$10
quick.
billion a year industry, and you turn this game into a fucking goddamn.
You're
cream
so
puff.
you're so
Dude used to make
you're
fucking
so
joke,
quick. You're
dude.
so quick to say that, and you forget
Yeah,
about guys
yeah.
like Junior Seau.
Yeah, that
and,
blew his fucking brains out.
Yeah,
he blew his fucking brains
or
out.
Everson Griffin with his nervous breakdowns last year, holding a
Okay.
gun up on Instagram Live
Okay.
due to
Yeah.
confirmed head injuries.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about Dave
Okay.
Pearson blowing his head off with a shotgun.
Are we going to talk
We gonna
about how
talk
many
about that
military suicides there are a year?
Listen, these guys know what they get
We're
themselves
just gonna play like left fielders today, I guess.
I'm
No.
just saying.
Hey,
Those
listen,
guys see combat.
listen, they know what they sign up for. They make a lot of fucking money for what they do to play a fucking game. The game is physical.
That's my point.
It is what it is.
There's
It's not
Dude
like that.
used to
Nobody's twisting their fucking arm to do it.
Dudes used to make nothing and go out
shut
there
the
and
fuck up. This
leap
is
off
so
their legs and
typical
hit the
of-
fuck out of each
This
other.
is so typical of this everybody's a pussy nowadays fucking routine where, oh, you got to play soft. No, if you're fucking hurt, the medical staff should be competent enough to sit you. Done. It doesn't mean you can't hit them. It doesn't mean you can't
You
play
don't
hard.
think the player has any kind of say so in it.
No.
I don't believe that
He
for 1
should
minute.
not. He
I don't
should
believe it
not.
for 1 minute.
Period.
You know that's not happening.
Guess what?
So why would you even
If you
say
work
that?
if you work a construction job and you fall and break your ankle, and you look at the guys who are like, oh no, I'm good to come back to work. They're gonna say, no, you need to come back
on,
with a
dude.
fucking doctor's note.
Totally different thing.
No, honestly,
not.
honestly,
It's
they'll
the
probably
same
look
thing.
at you and tell you to stop being a pussy and get back to fucking work. is what they'll do.
Be a
No,
pussy.
honestly, they will
No, they
look
won't.
down
Guess
on
what?
you if
Guess
you're
what?
fucking
Then they're
hurt.
fucking stupid too.
Listen,
because
if you're hurt,
when you finally
you're hurt
do get
being
hurt,
in
and you gotta
injury.
get paid out workman's comp.
Those are the guys who are building your roads and building your houses. So
Listen, if you're hurt enough to where you need to be out, you're going to say something, and you know that.
and cutting your trees. Shout out to Sue.
You know, you know that. It's a totally different thing. These guys play a fucking
Trimming.
game, dude. They're paid very well.
Yeah, I guess
Paid very
it
well.
doesn't matter if they're all brain dead one day. Anyways,
Well,
moving on.
You know what? You know what? That's what they sign up for. They know
Yeah.
the risk. They know everything right from the get-go. And that's why they make the money they make.
Got a point.
That's all I'm
You
going to
can't-
fucking
You can't
say.
deny it. They make
So
a
the
lot of
doctors
money.
don't need to do their jobs.
I didn't say the doctors don't
No,
need to do their
okay,
job.
now if you wanna
the
go back to
doctors
that-
did their job. I don't see how you can point the finger at a bunch of guys for a guy going down and getting hurt. It had
Now,
nothing to do
there
with
is a
what
chance
happened 4
maybe
days
this
ago.
doctor is just a little bit,
Him getting whipped on the ground had nothing to do with what
Tootsie
happened
Pop,
to him
but,
4
I
days
mean,
ago.
You
Could it-
completely
could it
contradicted
have
yourself.
contributed? Could it have contributed to what happened? It could have.
maybe.
Maybe.
4 days prior,
Because
took
he
a hit
went
and
down
collapsed.
2 plays before that. He went down. He was fine.
He
So
was.
I don't.
2
believe
plays
that.
prior, he didn't land on his head.
Well, of course he didn't land on his head.
Oh.
What's the odds of a? What
all
is the
it,
odds of
all
a
it
quarterback
takes is one
landing on
time.
their fucking
it does,
head?
all it takes is one time. Whether it couldn't, I mean, if it wasn't that last time, then it was this time.
So you think
Because the last time he didn't get thrown on his head when he got up wobbly.
what the fuck are you
The
talking
4 days
about?
ago that you're insisting
He's
that is the reason why
Scorpion.
he was hurt.
He landed straight on the back of the helmet.
Now because we're recording.
4 days
Clearly
ago.
on the back of the helmet. Yes.
Are you talking about Thursday night?
Yes, his knees
I'm not
were at
talking
his-
about Thursday night.
I'm talking about Sunday. I'm talking about Sunday.
didn't
His
land
knees
on
hit his titties. He's scorpioned for fuck's sake.
Oh, it's what it is.
It's
He's
very
got a soft
simple.
spot.
There's an issue for them to miss it.
He's got a
Period.
soft spot.
There's an issue for the team to have missed that. Period. It's an issue. That's
I'm gonna
it.
start doing the longest yard dude, the announcer from now on when you guys are going at it, and just give whoop in the middle.
Simple.
Of
I don't know what that is, dude. The
Never
longest
seen
yard.
the longest yard?
Longest yard. With Burt Reynolds, longest yard.
No, not the old one.
Not the old. That's the only one I know of.
Oh,
Thank
how
you.
about the one with Adam Sandler?
Okay, getting into this weekend's games. I'm gonna fucking bash your face in. Getting into this weekend's games, we have our first international game of the year in London at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It is the Minnesota Vikings against the New Orleans Saints. Couple things that we already know about this game. Dalvin Cook will be playing. He is healthy enough to play. He has no injury designation for this weekend, so he will be playing. On the other side, it is confirmed that Jameis Winston will not be playing, so Andy Dalton will be starting for the Saints in London, and Michael Thomas is doubtful to play. With that being said, the Vikings go in as a 3-point favorite. The over-under in this game is 43.5. And I'll say this much about this. It's pretty easy to decide who's going to come out on top in this game for me, due to the fact that we don't know what Andy Dalton really looks like, and we don't know who's outside of Chris Olave. I don't think there's too many options for the Saints. Up to this point this year, Jarvis Landry has been average at best. Michael Thomas is their touchdown catcher, and if they're without him this weekend, I don't really know what Andy Dalton's going to do. On the other side of it, we have the Kirk Cousins curse coming back into play. He's not at home, and it's not technically a 1:00 game, so who knows how he's going to play. Would you call this a primetime game?
What time is it there, though?
I have no idea.
Let's look that up.
It's 9 a.m.
It's
No,
9 a.m.
9 a.m. for us.
Other thing is Justin Jefferson's been kind of quiet the last 2 weeks. I think we could see a breakout game from him. After week 1, he kind of went silent. I think Cousins will play well, and if Cook is healthy, he will get the blunt of the workload with Mattinson playing well behind him. I think that the Vikings have all the makings to win this game, probably by more than 3. I would take the Vikings -3.
I agree. I'd do the same thing. I'd take him giving up the points. Like you said, Andy Dalton. We don't know what Andy Dalton we're going to see. If it was the one that was in Chicago, they're going to be in trouble.
I'm hammering the under on this game just because I don't think the Saints are going to put up very many points. Usually these London games get kind of shit showy. I think all the travel, jet lag, new place, different times, all of the above just kind of affects these guys negatively. So I don't expect this to be a hugely high-scoring game. I would take the Vikings -3 and the under. I don't see 6 touchdowns being scored in this game.
I'm taking the Saints.
Any reasoning, or are you just going to throw it out there?
Hey, man, you guys are the stats people. I go with my heart, and I go with my, what I see. And I see Andy Dalton with practice time, and I think he's going to go out there and beat the Minnesota Vikings. So there we go.
Wow.
God bless.
God bless.
Bruce. Do we know? Is that confirmed?
It is confirmed. Andy Dalton will be starting. Correct.
Okay.
God bless Andy Dalton.
God bless the Red Rifle.
Hey, you want to know what?
He's the best. I think he's one of the best backups in the league.
If you look real hard at Bruce, who does he kind of look like?
If you put red hair on him, which
is Andy Dalton really your father?
What?
No,
white and pasty.
I actually think I've seen pictures of Larry Bird when he was a child. He looks just like Bruce. Go pull it up. You'll see it. He looks just like Bird.
And you look like a fucking tire.
That beak hanging off of him there.
That's it.
Next up, we have the Cleveland.
This is a good Roman nose. What are you talking about, huh?
Yeah. Fucking Roman. Anyway.
Next up, Cleveland Browns at Atlanta Falcons. The Browns are favorites by a point, and the over-under is 47. The game is in Atlanta. This one, you want to know something? I just don't have faith in the Browns yet.
Kind of a toss-up. I think anybody could win. I like the Falcons a little bit better.
I do too. I
like them to win outright.
I think the Falcons offensively, even though their record doesn't really show it, they're hot right now. The Browns -1 shows that Vegas doesn't have all that much faith in them either.
I do think Amari Cooper's going to have a big game.
I agree with that.
Fuck Vegas.
I love Amari Cooper in this matchup, but I just think the Falcons are a little more well-rounded, and it all depends. Can they stop Nick Chubb? That will be the story.
Well, the way Cordell
Patterson stop him.
The way Cordell Patterson's been playing, I mean, they might just keep exchanging blows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drake London obviously came on. Kyle Pitts woke up a little bit last week. The biggest concern for me about the Browns is that defense isn't getting going.
And Myles Garrett is out.
Yep.
Without Myles Garrett,
Officially
they're not
out.
the same team.
I agree with that. So I'm going to take Atlanta +1. That 47 over-under interests me a little bit.
That's kind of.
I got a feeling it could be over.
You know what? I
No
kind of.
way. You know why? Because the Browns love the run game, and it takes that. They just eat the clock up like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but I think you're
when
going to
they're
see some
going.
turnovers in this game. And,
I agree.
And I just.
I think it's going to get kind of messy. And
I'll tell you
I'll
what,
take the
Atlanta. I'll say one thing about
47?
Mariota.
Shit.
He does turn the ball over.
Cleveland
And
is currently.
That's key.
This is why I'm going to take the over here. Cleveland currently 6th in points. Cleveland is currently 6th in total points scored. Atlanta 8th. They're both averaging more than 25 points a game, and I think there's not going to be a ton of defense played here. So I'm going to take Atlanta +1. I think that they're going to win the game, and I'm also going to take the over of 47. I think that it's just going to be messy. I think, like you said, there's going to be turnovers and mistakes, and I think there's going to be a decent amount of points put up here.
I actually think this next game could be an absolute shootout.
Do you?
Something's telling me that this game is going to be a shootout. And you know, the over is 45. I'm going over on this game.
You are, eh?
I am. I just think here's the thing. I love the Chargers. We got to see which
Minus Joey.
quarterback is going to show up. The best guy in the league or the guy that was there last week? For the Chargers. Which guy is going to show up? That guy who's fucking hurt or the guy who's good?
So Herbert officially came off of designation today. So he's no longer questionable. So he's playing.
But he's playing hurt.
Correct.
That rib is not going to that rib is going to stay this way for at least a month.
Absolutely.
No, but he's gonna play like it until it fucking breaks.
Absolutely.
And so we're in a situation now where he is a couple big hits away from not playing in this game. That's truly how I see it.
Thank God the officials don't have say into that.
I'll say this. The 45-point over-under,
I think it's going to be over.
I really don't see Houston scoring all that
I
much.
do. I think Houston's a little sneaky team. They can put points on the board. Their defense is scrappy. They're scrappy, and they get a lot of turnovers.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, they're scrappy. I like their defense.
I think
Especially their secondary. Their secondary is a little underrated, man. Those guys are pretty good.
I think we're going to see the real Justin Herbert this weekend, and I think we're going to see the real Houston Texans this weekend.
I think they'll stay in it. They're not going to cover, but they'll be in it.
I'm going to take the Chargers -5, and I'm going to take the under on the 45. I know you're going to go over, but
I'm going over, and I'm taking the Chargers to cover.
with Herbert not 100% healthy, with Keenan Allen not 100% healthy, and with the Houston Texans, just still I don't have enough faith in them for them to put up 21 points in this game.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Chargers -5 and the under in this, but I think you're right. I think it'll be pretty close to hitting.
It's at Houston, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Understandable.
I think they play well at home.
Damian Pierce.
Their fans are like
hell,
Detroit
too.
fans. They're just
No matter
dying for a winner.
Yeah, no matter how bad they
Yeah.
are, they'll still go there and drink the Kool-Aid. What?
Am I gonna get my say?
Go ahead.
on this?
Go ahead.
What? I mean, come on, damn. Shit, I'm taking the Chargers and the under.
Any reason why?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Just let me get my say in once in a while. You guys go at it, man. Shit.
I'm going to take his beer away from him because you already know that's
You got to cut him off.
it's
Is that what it
1:30
is?
in the
Does he need
afternoon.
to
He
be cut
needs to
off
be
already?
fucking
Is
cut
there a
off.
problem
Anyway.
with that?
This next game is pretty intriguing. I got a feeling it could be game of the week.
I think this is for sure the game of the week. The Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. The Bills are a 3-point favorite, over under a 51. Let's start here. Over.
I think so.
Over.
I think so.
And I know that's a lot of fucking points, but
I could see
Over.
both of these points putting 30 up easy.
I think so
In the
too.
30s easy.
I don't know about
I
that.
think so, too. I mean, obviously Buffalo is a great defense, but I mean, with the way Lamar Jackson's playing,
They haven't seen I'll say this. They haven't seen an offense like this since last year when they played
Kansas City.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I think it'll be over, and I'm taking the Ravens, giving up the 3.
To be honest, I don't think the Ravens offense can go up against this defense.
Okay.
So, this is what I'm going to say. Obviously, I'm taking the over.
Okay.
That Bills -3, I don't think the Bills are 3 points better than the Ravens. I mean, I don't understand where they
I don't know where they got
really
that
came
either.
up with that line. You're taking the Ravens to win
I'm taking
outright,
the-
correct?
And to win outright also, but giving them 3 points too.
I
love that.
think Buffalo's going to win. I don't think Buffalo's going to lose again.
Here's the thing: if you watch that game last week with Miami, Miami handled them pretty well.
Agree.
Okay. Now, if you go back before that, Baltimore handled Miami pretty well.
They did.
And Baltimore was a lot more explosive against Miami than Buffalo was.
Agreed.
And I think that's going to happen again. I think, listen, I truly believe Lamar Jackson is an MVP.
He's playing like it right now.
He's already won one.
Yeah.
He is one. Come on.
I'm going to stick with Bills -3 just because I don't think the Bills are going to lose another game.
Okay.
I do think this could be your AFC Championship preview, maybe.
I do too. Possibly. It's either Buffalo or Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills -3 in the over.
Okay.
It's going to come right down to it. You're going to have like a 30. It's going to be in the 30s, and it's going to be a field goal that separates these teams. And you can't go wrong picking Baltimore, but I just think the Bills have a slight edge. And if any defense is going to stop that Ravens offense, it's got to be Buffalo. So, again, I'm not very confident in it, but I'll take the Bills -3, the over 51.
I think Vaughn has a big day. Is that
Okay.
a problem with what I said?
No.
I think with the fact that you have Lamar Jackson running around so much, I think Von Miller will have a field day.
You know what? That's actually a very nice observation, Bruce. And he's probably not wrong. If the Bills win that game, I think Von Miller does
if there's
have a big
one
day.
dude that's going to stop this guy from running, it's going to be Von Miller.
Agreed. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. Next up, the New York Jets at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 41.5. Zach Wilson is back for the Jets. Obviously, Mitch Trubisky is still there for the Steelers, and neither of those two names give me much confidence. I'll start out with the over-under, and I am going to take the under in this game.
I agree.
I think Najee Harris finally has a little bit of a coming out party against the Jets front seven, who has not clicked yet. They're good, but they haven't really clicked yet. I think Najee Harris finally has that first big day of the year for him. I also think without TJ Watt, Breece Hall has his first big rushing game of the year. I'll say that.
Interesting observation.
I think that Pittsburgh is... I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game. I don't know why. I think you're going to see a little bit of rust from Zach Wilson. I don't know how his rapport is with his receivers yet because we haven't really seen it. Obviously, Flacco developed a rapport with Garrett Wilson.
Oh, shit.
He was looking at me drinking, and he's laughing.
Obviously,
No, it wasn't. I was looking at the video on Sam's computer.
Oh.
obviously, Flacco had a good
I'll say this: we don't know who we're going to get yet.
Yeah.
Which Zach Wilson are we going to see? The
Yep.
guy that's ready to go, or are we going to see some guy that's missed a lot of time and he's going to come out rusty, a la Russell Wilson?
And-
we need to see what we're going to see.
And I'll say this: it's very well documented here that I am not a Mitchell Trubisky fan, but I think the Steelers.
I don't think anybody is.
I think the Steelers get one this week. I think Najee puts the
I
team on his
actually
back.
like the Jets in this game because I think they're a little more balanced than the Steelers are. That's my opinion. I think their defense is better because without TJ Watt, Pittsburgh is a shell of themselves. They're
Agreed.
not the normal
I
team
won't-
they should be.
I probably won't.
I'm going to take the
choose
Jets in the
Steelers.
3.5.
I won't choose the Steelers for anything until they put Kenny Pickett in. So
Oh, anyway.
the Jets.
Okay. Moving on to your favorites. The Jacksonville Jaguars head into Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 45.5 points. You're both going to disagree with me here wildly, but I am taking
I think you're on crack.
the over. Not only am I taking the over, I am taking Jacksonville plus 6.5, and I am taking Jacksonville to win this game outright.
I'll take the over. But the Eagles are going to win this game.
Are they going to win it by 7 points?
I think you're about to see how good how good they really are.
The Eagles or Jacksonville?
6.5. That's kind of hard, man.
You're going to see how good the Eagles are. They're going to cover.
Well, I don't think the Eagles don't need to show me anything else to know that they're good. But this is what I have to say about this. Jacksonville has showed us moments where they look really good, moments where they look really bad. Philadelphia, obviously the only undefeated team left, has showed us that they have a very strong defense, that they can run the ball very well. Hurts is making a beeline for Lamar Jackson right now. I'll be honest with you. He looks extremely impressive. The Eagles, A.J. Brown looks fabulous. You don't know.
This will tell the story. If the Eagles are able to control the line of scrimmage early with their offensive line, who's a lot better than Jacksonville's, and that game will be over early. If they can protect Jalen Hurts and he gets out and gets in a rhythm, they're done early.
Jacksonville's defense really impressed me last
Do you
week.
think
They impressed me too. I'm a big advocate for their team, but I just think that Eagles defense is going to be too much for Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to come down to earth.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think he'll have a passing day or a rushing day?
Both.
Who's that?
Jalen Hurts.
Both.
Both.
I think he's the most. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's the most complete quarterback playing right now.
He is.
That can run the ball. He throws the ball better than he runs the ball.
He's playing like Lamar Jackson, just
Yes.
watered down a little bit.
Well, I think running wise, I don't think he's the runner Lamar Jackson is.
No.
But throwing the football, I actually think he's a little better than Lamar Jackson throwing the football.
Do you want to know why I'm taking
I think he's better
Jacksonville in this
throwing
game?
too.
Because there's not a lot of logic that went into this pick. Because logically, yes, you're going to take Philadelphia. The Chiefs lost to the Colts last week.
You're looking for that game the upset.
I think this is for some reason. I think Jacksonville's hot. I think they got a chip on their shoulder. I think they're underrated. I think they're better than everybody thinks. And I think they come in and they surprise the Eagles this week. And I think they win by at least a touchdown. I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be shocked to see Philly come in and absolutely wax them. But it's a gut feeling on this one. I think the Jags are going to upset
How
the
does that work with 6.5? So does that mean a touchdown?
Philly needs to be win by at least a touchdown.
Okay.
By a touchdown. Next up.
So we're learning.
And an extra
We're
point.
learning here.
And an extra point.
And an extra point?
A touchdown and
7. They need to win by
They need
7.
seven.
Correct.
Okay.
They have to win by 7.
6.5 means
That's
they
what I
need
was
7
thinking.
to win.
Okay.
6.5.
We're learning here still.
The reason why they do the half,
figure it out.
the reason why they do the half is because if they went to 7, it's a push. Or if they went to 6, it's a push if they only win by 6. So they put the half in there, so they have to win by a touchdown, essentially.
Okay.
And if they do win by a touchdown, it's not a push.
Okay. So what if they go over completely?
Huh?
What if they go over completely?
What do you mean over?
If they win by 10, they win.
Yeah.
They flat out win. They have to win by a touchdown.
Aspect
If they
of-
win by a field goal, it's nil.
No, yeah, I understand.
Or if they
that.
kick,
But
let's
if
say
they go
score a
over,
touchdown.
that you still, if you bet
over the point total.
Let's
You,
say-
okay, yeah, I'm
the
not
spread and the over-under are two different bets.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Spread.
Let's say
is what I'm
they're
trying to get at
tied 14-all. Okay?
here.
Philadelphia goes in, scores a touchdown.
Okay.
Okay? They're up by 6. They go to kick the extra point, they miss it. Guess what?
They don't win.
Jacksonville wins.
Exactly. Jacksonville wins.
Okay.
Yes.
This game has all the makings to be shit show of the week. It is the Justin Field-led Chicago Bears going into Big Blue to play the New York Football Giants. The Giants are a 3-point favorite, which you can check off and take. And the over-under is 39.5, which I know it's the lowest over-under of the week, but I am taking the under because it's just so I just don't understand how either of these teams have the record that they do. The Giants have looked surprisingly decent. The Chicago Bears are probably the worst 2-1 football team in the history of the NFL.
I absolutely agree with that statement. I just don't. Here's my biggest fear: they're going to win another shitty game, and they're going to pull out another shitty game and be 3-1. And I just can't believe they continue to do what they do.
On.
The defense plays their ass off for them to be in these games. That's all I could say.
I'm going to say this much. It can't last. I don't think
it can't last.
I don't think the Bears.
I actually like the Giants giving up the 3 points.
Agree.
And I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the under too. I would, out of this game, if you have a Bears, if you have Khalil Herbert or if you have Saquon Barkley,
I would play him.
I think you're going to see over 300 yards combined from both teams on the ground. I think each guy could go for 150 yards rushing. I'll say this. I don't think there's going to be a ton of passing in this game. Obviously, Justin Fields can't throw for over 100 yards to save his life in a football game. And Danny
Daniel Jones can throw the
is-
football, and they'll put some points up. You just got to see who his receivers are going to be.
Yeah,
because I don't think he fucking knows
week
either.
to week, you have no idea
Yeah.
who's actually playing for
Yeah.
the Giants. So I'd say this is
Now
going to
that
be like,
what's his name got hurt, Shepard.
yeah, Shepard's out for the year.
He's out for the year. We don't even know who's on that team.
This has all the makings to be that 17-9
Yeah, it's
in favor of the
debacle.
Giants situation. I think you're going to see a debacle.
I'm taking the Giants, and I'm taking the over.
Okay.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Which team's going to put up? Which team's going to score 21 points?
Oh, the Giants.
God bless you, Bruce, because I don't even. I couldn't tell you. Who
I
actually.
will say on this
21.
show right
Which team's
here-
going to put up 28?
Right here, right now, I will say this on the show. I'm going to say the opposite of whatever you say because every time I agree with you, somehow, some way, shape, or form, I'm wrong.
Nobody said you were wrong. It's your opinion.
No, I'm saying when I choose with Sam, whenever
Well,
I
mean,
decide
he's just
to
asking
choose
you
with
a
Sam,
logical question.
usually when
which one of those teams do you think is going to put up 28 points? Because it's going to take a 28 burger just to go over that 39 and a half.
the Giants,
Okay.
I think they're going to have a field day with the Bears.
Okay.
Oh, well, hopefully somebody can throw. Giants are 29th. in
Moving
total
on
passing offense.
to probably one of the shittiest games of the week and probably one that we couldn't even begin to fathom who's going to beat who. It depends, I guess, if whoever could run the fucking ball the best.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say this, the 43 that they're saying, I'm going to go with the over on that.
you are.
I am going to go over on that just because I feel both of the ground games are so good on these teams that they could put up probably 28 apiece.
Well, they both can. If it's
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor versus Derrick Henry, it is
And it should be an
the
absolute
Tennessee Titans heading to Lucas
slobberknocker.
Oil Stadium to play the Colts, and I do agree with whatever the fuck a slobberknocker is, and I think it's going to be a slobberknocker. Okay, there's the title. Somebody write it down. It's going to be a slobberknocker. Now,
Slobberknocker.
I'm picking the Colts in this game.
Okay.
The Colts are -3.5. I'm picking them to win. I am taking the 3.5 points. The over/under in this game blows my mind because
I think 43 is low.
I think 43 is a touch too many.
I think
I
it's
could
too,
see.
I think it's way too high.
I could see 40. I could see 42. For some reason, 43 I can't get behind. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Colts -3.5. I know both of you picked Tennessee in this game.
I'm taking
absolutely.
Tennessee in the points.
Absolutely.
Regardless, I was taking Tennessee to win. I just feel that Derrick Henry is due for one of Derrick Henry type days.
That's kind of the feeling I was having.
Jonathan Taylor is due for a Jonathan Taylor.
Well,
play.
Jonathan Taylor had one of those weeks last week.
Yeah, but Jonathan
And I got
Taylor.
a feeling that Henry's due for one of those big 175-yard fourth quarters and 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Who do you have more faith in, Matt Ryan or Ryan Tannehill? Because you have the two best running backs in the league playing each other.
Tannehill still got me a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'll take Matt Ryan.
I like Matt Ryan better than Tannehill. I like Matt Ryan, period, better than Tannehill. But
Yeah, so do I.
I just think if Tennessee's going to do something, they got to do it. They are in desperation mode right now. They have to do it now.
I
Because
just
if
think
they lose to the Colts, that puts them in the basement.
if this game comes down to a quarterback needing to make one big throw to win the game,
I like Matt Ryan.
I like Matt Ryan, which is why I'm taking the Colts and the points.
Okay.
And the
Bruce?
under.
I'm taking the Titans, but I do like Matt Ryan more than Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. I don't think
But
anybody likes Ryan Tannehill.
for some
I don't
reason,
think Ryan Tannehill likes Ryan Tannehill.
You know who really doesn't like Ryan Tannehill? Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel?
Yeah.
when I was making
They've
my
been trying to get
decision-
rid of Tannehill for 2 years.
when I was making my decision, for some reason, I just had this feeling that, like he just said, Derrick Henry needs to have that day. And for some reason,
He's
against
due
this
for one.
Colts team, I think he'll have that day.
He's due for one.
The thing I think is interesting here is I think the Colts defense is slightly better than Tennessee's as well.
Oh, I do too, but I just think getting into that fourth quarter when these guys are gassed, that's Derrick Henry Day.
I agree.
That's Derrick Henry Day, and we have not seen one of those this year yet.
Agree. I think both Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor have a day, and ultimately it comes down to Matt Ryan needing to make a throw. Next up, the game that Bruce said he was
Game of the week.
too superstitious to pick.
If you realize, I haven't chosen the Lions or their opposing team yet on this show.
I'm gonna say this: the scumbag is coming to Detroit.
Scumbag Live.
That's it.
A couple of things about this game. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not playing.
Okay.
That's a big blow. Now, the last time I picked against the Lions because Frank Ragnow wasn't playing, I was very wrong. So the Seahawks coming to Ford Field to play the Lions. Lions are 4-point favorites.
Well, it wasn't
over...
just him, though.
Huh?
It wasn't just him. Basically, half of their starters sat out this week in practice.
Yeah.
DJ Chark, obviously.
But all those guys,
Swift.
most of them will play. The one that is for sure not playing is St. Brown. So now...
And it is the key is this: is Swift going to play?
No, I
That's
think
the
that's
key.
a for sure as well.
I don't know about that. He has a bad shoulder.
Well,
I don't know.
Dan Campbell came out and said that he put Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift on the same scale.
Swift is doubtful at the
yes.
moment.
Yes.
They're both on the same scale of where they'll be in this game, and it's doubtful.
Well, I'm going to do this. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Now, are you
I'm gonna
taking
take
the
the
Seahawks
Seahawks
to
in
cover
this
or
game.
win?
I'm going to take them to win.
Wow.
Not only to cover, but to win. Here's the thing. I think the Lions are headed in a bad direction.
Whoo!
We got to see. The
The scumbag.
They have
I'm
the
about to
worst
say it.
run defense in the NFL. They're 32nd. And I got a feeling that they could be exposed in this game.
Yeah,
Because this team runs the ball in between the tackles.
You've-
Seahawks.
you've been a big Rashad Penny fan all week this week.
I just have a feeling that he's going to have a breakout game. I really do.
I mean, if you
I really do.
look across,
Because he needs to keep his job. He's got a rookie that can't wait to get in there and take it away from him. And I think this is his deal. He doesn't do
I
it this
think-
week, he's done.
I think you'll have more of a Geno Smith day than you have Rashad Penny. But
Well, I don't. They're going to have to run the football. They got to control the line of scrimmage with the Lions because the Lions are definitely going to run the football down.
well,
their
their
throat.
secondary's hurting right now. So
They're going
Tracy
to run the
Walker's
football
done for
down
the
their
year. Yeah.
throat.
so
I think, again, you look at the Seahawks, and yes, did they have a nice win against Denver in Week 1 by a point? Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the under in this game. Under 48.
The Seahawks are 28th in points scored, 20th in points allowed, 26th in yards per game, 21st in passing yards, 29th in rushing yards. They are, for all intents and purposes, the erectile dysfunction of offenses, whereas the Lions are the exact opposite. I mean, they are second in points scored. They are third in yards per game. They are 19th in passing yards, third in rushing yards. They are also 32nd in points allowed.
That's the key.
So-
what you just said right at the end was the key to this game. And I do believe that Seattle's going to be able to put points on them. And if they can control the line of scrimmage against that defense, they're going to fucking pound them. But I'm
Seattle
taking the under.
will put points up. But ultimately, I think the Lions have their big exclamation point day. Bruce comes home from Ford Field very drunk and very happy. I'm going to take the Lions to win this game, not only by 4, but I would say they'll probably win this game by 14. And I expect both teams to score a lot of points. I'm taking the over, and I am taking the Lions -4. I think the Lions have to have that. They're going to win that game. That makes every Detroit Lions fan say, "Oh, it's the playoffs, baby. We're going to win the division."
They say that every game.
And they will stomp. They will stomp Seattle.
There's nothing I would love more to see them going to 2-2 and play New England just before the bye week.
They're going to stomp Seattle this week, and
They have to go
everybody's
to
going to
New
say,
England.
and everybody's going to say, "Oh, we're going to win the fucking North," and then they're going to go to New England next
And
week
get their asses
to play
handed to them.
Bradley Zappe or whatever the fuck his name is.
Bailey Zapp.
And the ghost of Jacoby Myers and get shellacked by 21 because Belichick owns them. But for this week, I'm taking the Lions -4 and I'm taking the over of 48 because the Lions don't play defense. They're like LeBron James. Moving on.
Not the greatest.
Shout out to Leon.
Bron James.
Hold on.
It's a fucking joke.
This is not a shout out, but I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was saying that if you expected the Lions to actually go and win 11 games this year, that's on fucking you. And I agree 100%. Because hold on.
You're the one who made the
No.
bet that they'd win more than 7 or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
7, that's okay, because I truly do believe that can happen. But I do know that we're probably not going to make the playoffs, and Dan Campbell, he hasn't admitted it, but the fact that he hasn't admitted it yet means that
Bruce.
they're not. He said this is going to be a 3-year process.
Who the fuck thinks the Lions are going to win 11 games? What crackhead did they ask on the street how many games the Lions were going to win?
Listen,
There's not
Don't
a
ask
fucking
me,
asshole
ask
in the
them.
world that
They're a
thinks the
fucking
Lions are gonna win
5-win
11.
There are
football
some.
team.
Yeah.
Hold
Be
on. There
fucking
are
A.
fans who are misinformed and don't watch podcasts like this and don't do
Okay.
this, that think the Lions are because of Hard Knocks. Because Hard Knocks has brought a lot of
oh no,
fans.
it's brought a lot of
100%
publicity. It's been
yes.
nice.
And they
been
think,
cute.
oh, the Lions are really good. Yeah.
It's cute.
You need to fucking slow the fuck down.
Listen to me.
Next year will be the year.
Anybody that knows
If it's
football
going
knows that
to
they're a
be
5-win
the
team.
year.
Christ,
5,
Jesus.
6, 7 win
What?
team.
The only people that think the Lions are going to win 11 games are people who do 11 shots of Jack Daniels and then make that fucking bold
Doing
prediction.
11 Jaeger bombers
Yeah.
at Ford Field.
Fuck.
But that, I mean, I'm just saying that's like people
Yeah.
like my dad. My dad doesn't, watch podcasts and he's not involved in the
Okay.
football world at all. And every time they make a mistake, he's and I'm
Well,
like, Dad,
it is
you
what
got to
it is.
understand that they're not there yet.
How did he feel when his head coach gave away a fucking game last week? How do you feel about that?
Actually, he left early. He had to go to work.
Okay.
But I
Well,
don't know how. He commented in
I'm just
in our
asking a
group
question,
chat
that's all.
was fucking Lions. And then my brother said,
well,
So-
I mean, listen, I don't think we've seen the last of Dan Campbell kind of making mistakes.
Fucking up.
they all know that this year's still
Well, did you hear
building
the kicker's gone?
building process.
They-
Is
they
it really?
took
Cut
out today.
Seibert.
He's not there. They got somebody else in there now.
Um,
I heard it on the radio on the way here. I don't know how true it is, but
Let's
that's
see.
what I was hearing on the radio. That they had a different kicker in there, somebody else. I don't know how accurate it is,
God
but
dang.
anyways, moving on. The Washington Commanders head down to Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 41.5. I'm going to let you start out on this one because I want to hear what you have to say about this.
the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Here's the thing, dude. I am so disappointed that they continue to pull out games that it's just killing me. I actually like Dallas in this game. I don't know why Washington right now, they were in such disarray last week. I don't know what's going on with Carson Wentz, but he's got to get his shit together because it's just killing me watching these guys drop games. I hope they beat the Cowboys. I don't think they will. The 41.5, I'm actually good with that.
So you're taking the over and the Cowboys -3.
I'm taking Cowboys -3 and the under.
I am not only going to take Washington +3, I'm going to take Washington to win this game outright.
Good.
I think Carson Wentz has a little bit of a bounce back day.
I hope so.
I think that Antonio Gibson probably doesn't have he's not going to run for a ton of yards this week, but I think he'll have impactful rushes this week. Obviously, the Cowboys have a solid run defense, so is what it is. But there's one thing that I saw about the Cowboys secondary is that they lock down, but they get burned. And when they get burned, they get burned bad.
Right.
This Commanders receiving core between McLaurin, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel has shown he's for real. His resurgence is here. I think they might give this Dallas secondary some things to worry about this week. I'm going to take Washington to win the game outright just because this Cooper Rush Can he
continue to play at the level he's playing?
He can't. If Cooper Rush could play at this level consistently, he'd be a starting quarterback somewhere in the NFL. Because for all intents and purposes, he's playing better than Dak Prescott right now. I don't think it's going to continue. I think Cooper Rush has to stumble.
I think he should keep the job.
He probably should.
To be honest with you, I think he's utilized his weapons better than Dak, and he just doesn't hang on to the ball going for every big play there is downfield. He plays within the system, and he trusts the system. And he's playing pretty well.
And here's another thing. Mike McCarthy hasn't fucked up in a couple of weeks, so,
but Mike
that's
McCarthy's he's not making any decisions right now. It's all about the coordinator.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore's the one doing all the calls.
I think Washington has a bounce back this week, back into the kind of the form we saw the first 2 weeks of the year.
I hope so.
And I think they're gonna shock the Cowboys this week in Jerry World.
That's why I'm taking the Cowboys. They're at home. They play pretty well at home.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I'm going with the gut here. That one's a gut call for sure.
Okay.
Next up,
this could be a brutal game.
the Arizona Cardinals head into North Carolina to play the Panthers now. This game is of some issue due to the fact that Hurricane Ian, which shout out to the state of Florida, which is fucked, is heading back into the Carolinas and could impact when and or where this game is played.
Right.
So far, it's going to be at Panthers home game, but that is something to keep an eye on. Now, Panthers are a 1-point favorite in this game. I'll be brutally honest with you. I don't know how. I mean, granted, Arizona hasn't been fabulous, but these are both 1 and 2 teams. And I don't know how anybody looking at both of them could say, oh, yeah, Carolina's the better team here.
Actually, I don't. I don't think Carolina's better than Arizona.
So
I really don't.
For me, Arizona really needs a second win. Carolina, we know what they are.
Arizona just needs to get some receivers, man. They are so decimated at receiver.
I mean,
Hopkins is a freaking clown. Doing the stupid shit he's doing and getting suspended. They should be a lot better than what they are right now.
Is he suspended for?
6 games. So here's the thing. This is very easy equation to figure out. The Panthers are 30th in yards per game, 31st in passing yards per game, and 14th in rushing yards per game, mainly because of a man named Christian McCaffrey. Because Baker Mayfield is I don't even know. He's like,
I actually thought he would thrive in that system,
and he's just not.
He's not.
He looks awful.
They don't have a viable target for him. Well, he can't find a target.
Christian McCaffrey hasn't practiced since Tuesday.
It doesn't matter. He'll play.
If he plays, I don't expect him to have. He's not going to hit that 115-yard threshold that they need to be effective. I just, with him being banged up, I see Kyler having a big game because the Panthers defense doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to take the Cardinals +1 hands down. I think it could be more. That 43.5 over under. If there was one I would not bet on this week, it would be that. Because here's the thing. Realistically, the Cardinals, if they decide they're going to go off and James Conner's actually a functioning running back and Kyler can actually throw the ball to somebody outside of Greg Dortch and utilize the other guys he has there, then they could put up 42 points by themselves. At the same time, we could see a 10-14 football game, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch it. I wouldn't touch this game at all.
I
wouldn't even watch it either.
I think,
anyway.
it's going to be awful. But I think Arizona +1 is a pretty safe bet there, but I wouldn't touch it.
Next game is a divisional game.
Well, you didn't let Bruce
Oh,
talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, I didn't talk for the last one either. So
All right, well, who do you got?
I'm taking Arizona.
Okay. Why?
There you go. Keep going.
Why?
Greg Dortch.
Greg Dortch?
I just go with my heart, dude.
You like Greg
And my
Dortch?
heart's telling me Arizona's going to win.
Are
so
you a big Dortch guy?
I'm taking Arizona.
Are you a big Dortch guy?
Who else is there? Isn't
This will be good.
what's that cat's name? Everyone's been trying to shop him from Will.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Is it Is it Brown?
What's his first name?
Marquise?
Marquise Brown.
Is that how you say his name? I don't know how you say his name.
It's
LaFonda
close.
Brown.
It's close. It's close. Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Good, Bruce.
I'm not a big fan of him. I just know it.
You know who the best wide receiver on the Cardinals is.
yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, he's probably the best receiver they have.
Yeah.
The only receiver they have.
Well,
Really.
Rondale Moore is supposed to play this week.
Oh, he is?
He is.
So he's going to
The
make
ghost
his
of
debut?
Rondale Moore, yes.
Yeah.
Next up, this game, I mean,
Could be a barn burner.
there has not been a harder game for me to pick yet this week. It is the Denver Broncos heading to Sin City to play the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are a 2.5-point favorite, over under a 45.5 points. And I hated it, but I'm taking the Broncos to win and +2.5.
I'm taking the Raiders to cover 2.5.
I'm taking the Raiders.
I want to know why.
Why?
Yeah,
They're at home.
that's it. That's all the logical reasoning
at
that
home.
went into this.
You guys,
They're at
you're
home.
supposed
at
to be
home and you're
logistics
desperate.
here.
I'm
What the
sitting
hell?
here-
They're so desperate for a win right now. They are so desperate for a
The
win.
question is,
It's a divisional
will
game.
Derek Carr find Devontae Adams?
We don't know. We'll see.
If there's going to be a game,
This should be
I'm
it.
choosing this game.
Yeah. I'll
Obviously,
say this about the Broncos. They have a really good defense.
really good defense.
Offensively, they've been shitty.
Yeah.
And when is Russell Wilson going to find the Russell Wilson of old?
But Raiders
I
defense
just don't
is good
see it
too.
this week.
I do see it this week.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I think we're at week 4 now, right? Everybody's a month in. Everybody should be friends with their receivers and their offensive linemen and have rapport. And I know we haven't seen it out of Russell Wilson yet, but this is the last week I will put my faith in him. I think that he comes out this week. I think the Broncos play a lot better than they have. I think Javonte finally remembers how to run the football. I think Russell Wilson finally realizes, hey, I have one of the best receiving corps in the league, because Denver's defense is as good as anybody. I'll say that. They are playing as good as anybody right now. On the other hand, Las Vegas has showed that you're going to score 25 points a week on them. Period. And granted, they have not had an easy schedule. They've played the Chargers. They played the Cardinals. They played the Titans. But I'll be honest with you, Titans didn't impress me up until that week. They didn't.
Yeah.
And every game has been a 5-point game or less. They are in close games. I think this is going to be another one of those very close games. But ultimately, I think Denver's defense will shut down Derek Carr and the Raiders. Josh Jacobs hasn't shown me anything. Devontae Adams has been quiet. There's some dude whose last name escapes me right now that's actually catching balls for the Raiders.
Matt Haas.
Hunter Renfrow has been a complete non-factor. Darren Waller's not really.
Renfro's out.
Renfrow is questionable this week.
He ain't playing. He had that concussion when he got ass hammered by Isaiah Simmons in that Cardinals game.
And you're going to be surprised by this, but right now I have more faith in the Broncos than the Raiders. And so I'm going to take Denver not only to cover 2.5, but to also win. That 45.5 point over. This is what's fucked up about this. The Raiders score 25 points a week and the Broncos score 10, but the Broncos win. So I don't
the under.
I don't know. Again, I'm putting my faith in Russell Wilson for one last week. I think I'm going to take the over. I think this will be the first week we see Denver really play offense.
Okay.
And I think that, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm taking the under. Fuck that.
Okay.
I'm taking the under. I was sitting here thinking about this.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna take the Broncos plus 2.5 and to win. I'm taking the under because I think Las Vegas puts up a lot of points. Denver is going to stifle them a bit, and Denver don't put up a lot of points, so that ain't going to change. I think you're going to have a 17-10 football game.
So you took the Raiders too?
Yeah.
Okay.
He took.
Speaking of the,
I have more faith
speaking
in
of the
Derek Carr
under,
than Russell Wilson right now.
Speaking of the under, this next game is just a. I don't even know what to say right now.
A shit show?
Dumpster
fire?
It's 40. The line is 40.
Yeah, they only got a half point more than the Giants Bears.
The Packers are giving up almost 10 points in this game. That will tell you how fucking bad this game really could be.
The New England Patriots head into Lambeau to play the Packers. Obviously, the Patriots are without Mac Jones. The Packers are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 40. Real quick, bet the under. No fucking way Brian Hoyer and Randall Cobb are going to combine for 40 points. The ghost of Randall Cobb.
Yeah, you're saying that right now. Randall Cobb will have 2 touchdowns this week.
That's fine. He can have 14 because I got news for you. The New England Patriots are not going to...
They're in trouble.
They are fucked.
They're in trouble.
They're fucked.
They are fucked.
Realistically, right now, I don't see this Patriots team, especially if Mac misses 4 to 6 weeks.
I will say this. I'm very nervous. I don't think they're going to win 9 games this year. I'm very, very, very fucking nervous.
We asked this a lot, but
I have to tattoo. I get to tattoo him.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I'm very fucking nervous.
Stick and poke, too.
Not because of the tattoo. I'm just nervous because they're bad.
They're fucking
Why? You don't
awful.
want to stick and poke the penis
I
on
don't
you
care.
somewhere?
I'm going to take the
I'm not even
Packers.
going to say anything about that last comment, but I will say this. This beer mug is very heavy.
Why do you have to
and
take
very
everything?
thick,
Why can't you
and
just take a joke? Why can't you laugh? Like,
What are
why
you
do
talking about?
why do you have to get
This is me laughing right now.
Yeah, and you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
start
the beer
laughing when I
mug and
fire
you're
this
gonna
at you.
Fire it at
and
me
catch
just
you
like
in
the
the
fucking
fucking
helmet,
dome.
just like the bullshit.
Listen, for everybody watching this, Bruce has had 4 Modelos and doesn't know how to
That's
handle
why he's
them.
talking all that shit
This is
right
why
now.
he's being-
It's called liquid courage.
But anyways,
4 Modelos ain't shit. Just because I have the courage to actually stand up against him. I mean, what's the problem with that? Usually I'll be sitting here in my bridges, just like, oh, I don't know what the fuck to say.
You know what?
You know what?
You
If
know
you were
what?
standing up, you'd be swaying like your brother.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Our next game.
He doesn't
no,
know. how to handle
we didn't even pick yet.
Oh, I thought we picked it.
Okay.
I thought we all picked the
Hey,
Packers.
let's reel it in a little
Yeah,
here.
I'm the
okay?
one.
You don't
I'm
pick
the
the
one who's
Packers?
dysfunctional.
Fuck. I'm taking the Packers. You told me you were taking the Packers.
Well, can I tell the fucking
ahead.
camera? Yes, I will be taking the Packers minus 9.5. I think that they'll handily win this game. The Patriots are a complete disarray, especially with Brian Hoyer behind the helm. I think
Bailey Zapp.
Bailey Zapp will be in after the ghost of Brian Hoyer disappears.
Okay.
That 40-point over-under, it's going to be under. I think you're going to see realistically like a 17-10 football game or a 21-7 football game here. I don't expect much from this. Anything to add?
No, you're pretty much right on the. You hit it right on the head.
In the game of the week,
Oh, God. It's not the game of the week.
live from
Yeah,
Raymond
absolutely
James
not.
Stadium, which couldn't be destroyed by Category 4 Hurricane Ian because nothing could tear down these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pat Mahomes in the Kansas
Except for
City
the Green Bay
Chiefs.
Packers, but
Pat Mahomes in the Kansas
The
City
cute
Chiefs.
one and the Kansas City Chiefs roll into Tampa where the Bay is
Sunday
gone.
night.
The Bay is gone.
It's back
It got
now.
sucked
It
up.
came back.
It came back?
Came back, yeah.
Okay.
The Bucs are a 1-point favorite at home. The over-under is 45.5. Mike Evans will be playing. Chris Godwin will be playing. Julio Jones will be playing.
I will take the Buccaneers, giving up the point, and the over.
Here we go, Bruce.
I agree.
That makes 3. I am taking Tampa Bay. I am taking Tom Brady. I am taking this will be the game. Every year Brady has that game. This will be the game.
He has to make a statement here, especially after that debacle last week.
Yep, and I think he makes the statement. I'm taking the Bucs -1.
They will be ready. They will be ready this week. And how's Kansas City going to be coming off that loss? That's key.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad it's only a point because if it was any more than that, I think this is going to be a tough game.
Well, if you remember, Kansas City got away from what they did the first 2 games of the year. They were running the football. They got away from that. And they're getting cute again. Every time they get cute, they lose.
I'll be honest with you. There's one thing that worries me in this game.
Okay.
That Bruce Arians is no longer the coach for the Bucs, and Andy Reid is still the coach for the Chiefs, because this game could come down to a coaching decision that I don't really have faith in Todd Bowles to make.
I like Todd.
And I just hope they don't get out-coached in this game by Andy Reid. That's all I'll say, but I think Brady has his exclamation point game.
Leftwich runs the offense on that team, and he's making all the calls. Todd Bowles just calls the defense. That's all he does. Their defense is stout. They're one of the top ones in the league, and I don't think anybody should even worry about that.
I want to see the Bucs absolutely I want their defense to absolutely fucking demolish Kansas City this week. I want them to hold them to nothing.
Anyway.
And you know something?
That's not going to happen. Kansas City's going to put points up. I got the over.
Do you want to know something? Kansas City, for the first time in recent memory, made a bad decision by letting Tyreek Hill go. Because Juju Smith-Schuster's ineffective. They don't have a number 1 receiver outside of fucking Travis Kelce. And you know
still
what?
Have him, and he's been good enough for them.
He has, but that team would be undefeated. That team would be the Super Bowl favorite if they still had Tyreek Hill on that roster.
I believe that too. I'll agree with you there.
And
Who do you
finally,
like, Bruce?
He already said Bucs.
Yeah,
He's taking Bucs -1 in the
As
over.
soon as he said it, I said I agreed with
Say
it.
that again. Say that one more time.
I said I agree
Okay.
with Sam. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Say that 3 times real fast.
Anyways, moving on. Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Rams head up Pacific Coast Highway to take on the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium. The 49ers a 1.5 point favorite. The over-under is 42.5. This one was a very tough game for me, but this is it in a nutshell. It's real simple. I think the 49ers defense is better than what the Rams offense has showed thus far, and I think the 49ers defense will ultimately win them this game, and Jimmy Garoppolo will just have to jag off his way into a win because he's not going to do much, but I think the 49ers will ultimately win by the 1.5, and I'm going to take the under because the 49ers can't put up points, and I think the 49ers D will stifle the Rams.
This is playoffs, isn't it, of last year?
Yep.
It's a big game. I'm taking the Rams.
I hear you.
Whose house?
Rams house. I hate the Rams. I just like Matty Stafford.
They're playing in wherever that is, Santa Clara, or wherever the fuck they play now.
It's San Francisco.
Stupid. Anyway, yeah, I'll take. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams.
It surprised me that the Niners were favored in this game.
Yeah, it surprised me too.
And
now, if it was the Rams 1.5, then I would take the Niners. I would take the Rams.
Are you taking the Rams to cover?
I'm taking them to cover.
Who are you taking to win?
The Rams.
Well, earlier
you
told me that you were taking the 49ers.
I was going to, but you know what?
You had a change of heart?
They got some injuries on the defense, and I want to see if they're going to be that stout.
I'll be honest with you. This is the week, because right now the only mark against the Rams is the Bills, and everybody, nobody figured that.
No, the Bills were that good that night.
This will be the black check mark against the Rams. Okay. I truly believe that the 49ers defense is underrated at this point. Right now, I'll be honest with you, my 3 favorite defenses right now are Tampa, San Francisco, and Denver.
Really?
They are.
Okay.
They are. I think the Bills defense got some holes exposed last week. Realistically, I think those 3 defenses could stop pretty much any offense. And I think the 49ers will stifle Matt Stafford and the Rams at home on Monday. And that is our week 4. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. We hope you enjoy a wild weekend of matchups. In week 4, if you haven't yet, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tipballs, TikTok at Tipballs Podcast. If you are listening to us, make sure to look us up on YouTube and subscribe. And if you're watching us, give us a listen on Spotify or Apple Music. Thank you guys so much for listening. You will hear from us on Tuesday.
Somebody swear.